Welcome to another Road to Hollywood. We got an incredible show for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're looking for knowledge and the steps to really progress your career, you tuned into the right place. This is the Road to Hollywood, and we have a very special guest on this episode. He is a music business veteran. He is an entertainment consultant, and he's the author of an incredible new book called The Artist's Guide to Success in the Music Business. Would you please welcome to the Road to Hollywood, it's Loren Weisman.
Jay, thanks so much for having me, man.
Great to have you, Loren. Thank you so much for coming down. I know it'll probably take us 100 hours to scratch the surface, but let's dive right in. You know, you and I are veterans of the industry. We've seen the industry go through radical change and is still very liquid. Probably will never harden up, in our lifetime. But let's talk a little bit about your past, where you grew up and how you got involved in the music business and what led you to this point.
Well, I started in music like a lot of other people. I wanted to meet girls.
Saw the Beatles, had them screaming, right?
I picked up the drums at 13, and the minute I picked up the sticks, I didn't want to do anything else. That was it. My mother put me on cello first, and then
that was better than construction. Huh?
Oh yeah. I went to Berklee College of Music for a couple semesters, dropped out to do my first tour, and got introduced to some great cats in New York that gave me this sense of, and it wasn't too harsh. It was, you're tall, you're hairy, and you're scary. You're not going to be a rock star, but you could drum behind a lot of people. And that got me into ghost drumming. And I did the bulk of my career as a drummer was signing the non-disclosures, doing the confidentiality agreements, going in and cleaning up what a drummer couldn't do, if a drummer was too drunk, a no-show, whatnot. And from all of those experiences all around the country, I got to see all these different labels, all these different bands, all these different budgets, and experience a different and broader view of the music industry as being the guy in the back being quiet. I don't shut up anymore, but back then, I zipped the lip.
So you were like a sponge absorbing all this going on, kind of that human metronome where these guys were kind of partying a little too hard. You came in and handled the business.
Well, it was amazing. I mean, the business was fascinating. I mean, at first the idea of like, well, no, I don't want to be hiding in the studio, but the experience of going in, it was a map, it was a treasure map every time. How am I going to fix this? How am I going to sound like the guy that can't quite play it, but adjust to him? And watching the conversations in the control rooms, in the back rooms, in the break rooms about these guys are about to get dropped. This money's going to go here. This will be a hit single. And when you have certain people in the industry that say it will be a hit single, enough marketing money will go behind it to make it so.
Yeah, all resources are dedicated to that. Well, it's an incredible book, and we're going to be talking in the hour and kind of going through an experiment. Like if I'm an artist, how you would plot the course to maximize the opportunity. But how long was the book been in your mind? How many years ago did you think, I got a book in here, and I'm going to tell you the steps by steps of what I've learned and gleaned in the industry?
Well, I crossed over to producing in 2003. 2002, 2003, I was breaking away from the drums and producing. And while I was producing, I was finding myself writing notes and little articles to bands. Don't forget about this. Okay, you're looking at that contract, do that. And they turned into larger articles, larger blogs. And then it was this thought of a friend of mine, a bartender, said, you need to write a book. And so I would say, and my career just went legal this year. I've been in this for 21 years. My career can now drink. But it was, it was years and years of the successes, the failures, where I was saying, okay, I really have an issue with a lot of what's being shared by people in a very linear sense, or okay, I only saw this world, and so I'm going to share that and call this the gospel truth. And so it was at that point I said, no, I'm going to write something with a little broader stroke.
Yeah. So these days, again, people have that short attention span. So you got to make it entertaining. You got to give it to them in bites. And looking at your book, that's what you have. You have amazing chapters. It's all broken down. If you only got 5 minutes here or 20 minutes there, you can kind of, pick up what you can glean in that time and just pick up where you left off. It's not like you got to sit there and dedicate a week to reading it. Even though it would be great to read it all the way through, you've done an amazing job in really breaking it down, and that's what I think a lot of, artists need, because, you know, we come into this business as a music fan. We see the excitement, we see the Grammys and the award shows and the red carpets on TV, and we think it's all fun, it's all money, it's all excitement. And then, you know, you realize that just like in any business, I don't care if it's sports cars or professional sports or whatever, there's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, a lot of people doing what they do best in a team, coming together to really form that formidable, you know, opposition or offense, you know, that you're putting out there. I like in a lot of the old-fashioned major labels is to kind of, they're like political parties. They held a lot of secrets. They were plotting against each other, you know what I mean? And in the indie world, there seems to be a much bigger camaraderie, like it's all of us together versus those corporate natures that want to monopolize radio or MTV or BET or retail or whatever it is. They want to dominate, and that's their strength. The Big Ten have now become the Big 2.5 or whatever you want to call it, you know. And I think in the indie world, and certainly we'll be talking about IES coming up, it's the sharing of information. I always say even the trade secrets and the you know, the success techniques come out, because just because it worked for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you the exact same way. But that blueprint of kind of some of those examples that did work, you know, whether it was Macklemore's breakthrough last year or Tech Nine doing over $20 million without big radio play last year, or, you know, any number of these independent success stories, and they are many. You know, tonight our special guest is Loren Weisman. He is the author of The Artist's Guide to Success in the Music Business. It is an incredible A to Z on how to maximize your success in this crazy, competitive, cutthroat world. And what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to go to a little break, a little information on Indie Power, the company that provides all the promotion and marketing, all the services you need. When we come back, we're going to be taking Loren to task and utilizing me as an example, as the guinea pig, and using the knowledge in his book to kind of guide me through if I was that artist on the rise, and what steps I need to prepare to have my best shot at success in the music business. This is The Road to Hollywood, coming right back with more knowledge right after this.
SLIPKNOT. This is Matt Sorum from REVOLVER.
Hey, this is Mike Inez from Alice in Chains.
This is Max Cavalera, SEPULTURA, SOULFLY.
I'm Brooks Wackman from Bad Religion.
Hi, I'm Ronnie James Dio.
This is Mick Jones of Foreigner.
Hey, this is Brad Woodford from AEROSMITH, and you got the power. This is Indie Power.
It's a good time for new bands. It feels creative at the moment.
I mean, it's an exciting time for new musicians and new acts. You know, it's like, you know, digital recording and stuff, and it's easier for bands to get a package together.
If you're a musician out there, you got a band, you want to rock, don't sit down on your ass and wait for someone to knock on your door.
You want to make your own music with Indie Power.
You don't need those stinking labels, because once you do it all yourself, you own it all yourself.
Indie Power.
You don't need the man to do it for you.
Get your own music started with Indie Power.
That's what I like about being on an independent label, is that I don't have to answer to anybody, and I don't have to be somebody that I'm not. I can write the music that I want to write, and I can say the shit that I want to say, and the label puts it out.
We wouldn't do it if everyone was telling us what to do.
I mean, I think the question is, what aren't the advantages of being independent? You know what I mean? They definitely pay more attention to you. They definitely care about every single band that they have, and they're personable. I mean, I know every single person at my label. You feel like it's a family, and you feel like you have a career.
Every decision doesn't have to go through like 20 people, you know. It's our record label, which is great. We get to ask ourselves what we think about different ideas, and that's really refreshing.
Any advice to young people out there starting bands? Yeah, you just got to get off the couch, make the first move, make it happen, man. You can do it.
Do it yourself. Don't be afraid to be your own person and follow your own voice.
Never think that you're finished. You know, the music is always about getting to the next level. You know, because there's always a teacher out there. There's always somebody you can learn something from.
No pain, no gain is cliche, but it's true. You got to just work hard and keep
keep striving and keep working and believing in yourself and believing in what you're doing. That's the only way to really get anywhere in life and in this business.
But keep the goals lined up, you know, A, B, C. Keep them lined up, knock them down, achieve something.
Follow your heart, and you know, with work you will find a way to get your music out there.
There are more ways to get your music out there to people. There's a lot more different paths, you know.
You know, obviously MySpace, Facebook, that whole thing is a great way for bands to get their names out.
You got a lot of things at your disposal to get your name out there without spending any money.
You can do it yourself.
Don't wait for the record label. Do it yourself.
We don't need record labels. Do it yourself.
DIY all the way, punk rock. Screw all those labels. They don't know what they're doing anyways.
We're living proof. You can do it without a record label, without big management, without anything. You can do it yourself.
People need to hear the music that's in your head, that's in your fingers, that's in your heart. So get out there and let's hear it.
Me and you, we have indie power.
Go indie, stay indie, be indie.
Get with indie power.
This is a place to learn how to do it yourself.
You got the power.
Indie power.
Get off your ass and make it happen and do it yourself.
That's what indie power is all about.
You have the power to make it happen yourself, so get out there and do it.
You have the power. Indie power.
Get out there and make it happen.
It's all in your hands, so fuck the labels, do it yourself, and long live indie power.
We have indie power, and we're gonna rock forever.
If you have the music inside you, it's in your heart, make it happen.
Get with indie power.
Declare your independence with indie power.
Now, if you wait too long for record companies to come to you and make your life happen and your success and your band happen, forget about that. Go to Indie Power. They'll make it happen for you.
That is Indie Power. This is the road to Hollywood. We've got a special treat for you on this episode. Loren Weisman, he's an amazing consultant. He's a veteran. He is behind the scenes on so much knowledge that you want to glean. Whether you make music, you're a songwriter, you're a producer, you're a budding manager or executive, you run your own independent label, production company, maybe you even shoot videos or want to make movies. It all applies because these days we've kind of broken down the barriers. Not only is there no more rules, as long as it's legal and it works, it flies. But, you know, music, movies, reality, touring, technology, it's really more all in one than really, you know, the opportunity of separation. Loren Weisman is our guest. That's his book right there, The Artist's Guide to Success in the Music Business. So, Loren, I'm your guinea pig. I just picked up your book. Please consult me. Give me an idea. I've been making music in the garage. I've been doing my recordings. I got my own little home, you know, gear here. I don't really know too many people of anybody in the industry, you know. I see I can put my stuff on iTunes myself. I can, you know, put up anything, me drinking this glass of water on YouTube. But what are the steps I need to do to start to build this as a business and take my best shot?
One of the first steps I tell every band of every level, whether it's starting in the garage or getting out from under a major label, is the brand. People are going to see you before they hear you. I mean, you think of the CDs, the tapes, the things that have passed your desk, my desk. I can't listen to everything coming through. You can't either. But when I see something that captures my eye, when I see something that looks well put together, that artist becomes less of a risk of investment. So while you're putting together that music, while you're creating that, in all the creativity that is your music and that part of the brain, apply that to the other side. What's your tagline? If I'm going to see, and you're going to put together a logo and a font, and it's the J's, pick that font that stays the same everywhere, just like you have with Indie Entertainment Summit. Pick that logo, the IES logo. It can't change anywhere.
Just like Run DMC or Metallica, it's ingrained.
And then that tagline, that idea of, okay, I might not know who you are. So what's a flurry of words that I can search on that are going to end up finding you? There was one artist I worked with a number of years back. He was like, well, I'm kind of this and I'm kind of that, and it's like soul and it's rock. I said, no, we're going to zero it in. It became Out of Control Rock and Soul. And on all their products, on toilet paper, that was a funny brand that we did. It was Out of Control Rock and Soul, because that tagline will give people an idea. We are an ADHD generation that's coming out to purchase, and for people our age, for people older, we've caught up to that too. If we're not connecting in 6 seconds, we're moving on. There are millions of pages and millions of websites and Facebook and Twitter and all of this. Give me the brand. What is that sound? The next thing, the longer bio, the one-liner. Where do you come in to make comparisons? Everybody says, "Oh, I hate to be compared to. I don't want to compare to this person. I'm doing something that's never been done before." It's not true. There are elements. I mean, do you remember Oreos?
Sure.
In the 80s, they were that Cheerios ripoff, just like Cheerios. They tasted just like cardboard. But their marketing thing was, we're just like Cheerios. The idea of being able to have that humility and that confidence to say, we got a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And especially with the internet today, that can drag in people that wouldn't be looking at you.
Yeah.
That sense of that brand, what you're about. You are a brand. You are a Coca-Cola. You are, you are a Sennheiser microphone. You are, a Dunlop tennis ball. You are the NFL. You are the MLB. And it's not selling out to business. It's not big business. But minds recognize brands. And everybody that's branding right now is standing out worlds more than those people that aren't. I mean, what you just mentioned about the blueprint of the brand. And then the brand on top of that, the descriptions of the song. And when you're describing, I don't care if you're innovative, new, different, unique, out of this world, and never been done before. Never use any of those words because everybody else is. When you start to combine the words and talk about what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you're able to stand out, you're going to attract in that audience. And yes, it always comes back to the music. It comes back to the band. But I bet that you've heard, and I know I've seen some of the greatest musicians in the world, and they're never leaving that garage because all they did was the expectation, the delusion of somebody else to handle it. And they say, I don't want to think business. Branding isn't business. Branding is the creative. Just as you create a song and put it together, you can create your brand, your online presence, your physical presence, your solicitation presence. And from there, now you've got the recording, and not just, I'm putting this up on iTunes. It's, I'm putting this up on iTunes with a logo, a font, a brand, a one-liner, a short tagline, and a social media plan that regardless of if you have $5, $5,000, or $50,000, you are compounding the optimization to be seen by more and more people with everything, take two, every single post you put up.
Well, it's incredible. I call it speed bumps because, more than ever, we got so many emails and stimuli bombarding us all day long that you need something to get people to slow down for a second, like out of control rock and soul. What the F is that? It stopped me for a second. My mind had to do a double take, and I'm starting conjuring up ideas. I'll never forget running into Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20 when they first started out. The album was going to come out in 2 weeks. They're in Boulder, Colorado, setting up on a right across the street from the Fox Theater. There was like a little record store there. It was at a Gavin convention back in the, what was it, the mid to late 90s. But their first album was about to come out. And real cool guys, I'm hanging out. I'm asking Rob, so what do you guys sound like? I'd never even heard of Matchbox 20. What the hell is that? And he said, we kind of get comparisons to Counting Crows. Now, that didn't limit me in my mind to think, well, he's just a Counting Crows ripoff, but gave me an idea of, okay, they have a very expressive lead vocalist. They have very kind of catchy Americana, kind of earthy, kind of, pop rock. And it gave me an idea in my mind. Little did I know they became bigger than Counting Crows. Rob Thomas collaborated with Santana, had one of the biggest selling songs in history. But it gave me a reference point. Funny enough, to the end of the story is before they could actually set up and start playing, because we were all lined up going to the Paul Westerberg show, the police came along and told them, no, you guys, you cannot play out here. So here's Matchbox 20, 30 million albums sold. The cop said, please move along, guys. Don't strum a note, And I remind him of that every time I see him. But, Loren Weisman is our guest. The book is called The Artist's Guide to Success in the Music Business. It's an incredible step-by-step, knowledge from all angles of the business, from being a player, from being that recording producer, from being the marketing person who had to sell this act. Now he is brought it full circle. He is dived in, and put thousands of hours into this book so you don't have to. You can absorb A to Z and be that much further ahead. But now, Loren, tell us this. You know, we're in this kind of fast food microwave society. It's never been easier to record. I remember in the old days, I used to tell people, you almost had to have a record deal because going in to cut a record was $30,000 to $50,000. And then, of course, to go to radio or retail or, heaven forbid, MTV, they kind of had a little stranglehold on that. And it was a different kind of beast. But now, anybody can record on their phone or their laptop or their tablet or, you know, a little Pro Tools or Fruity Loops or whatever, GarageBand in their house. So we've never been more inundated with people putting out music. I didn't say quality, but streaming and an avalanche of sounds and videos that come out. It's like YouTube. They probably have a lifetime's worth of videos go up every day. So how the hell are you going to, you know, feed through and find out what's great? So let's talk about some of those tips. You know, I got some great music. I really woodshedded. I've been working on my songs. I'm really proud of the recording I have. Okay, I understand, you know, I'm pushing a brand, so I kind of give people those speed bumps to find out who I am and a tagline or two to kind of, you know, get them to slow down and listen to my song. Where do we go from there? Say, you know, I've heard that the major labels really aren't signing anything unless it's already out there successfully independently. They don't want to do the hard work. They want to come in when it's already flowing and throw the corporate gas on the fire. So what do I do? What are some of my options as far as finding those that funding outside of a label to keep my indie thing going so I can maybe attract or build some leverage in the industry to whether I go with that dreaded 360 deal or not, I basically have some options to maybe excite some brands to endorse me or align their brand with my brand on a regional tour or, you know, get my song in a movie or something and give me something to talk about in the press. What are some of those moves I can make?
The easiest way to summarize is the less of a risk of investment you are and the safer of an investment you are, the more you will get the chance at investments. Whether it's real investors, and I'm not talking about that Kickstarter stuff. I'm talking about budgets that are going to publicize. To start up at that next level and on the marketing and social media side, getting an editorial calendar together. And this is something you can do for free or for a simple consult of saying, these are the type of videos I'm going to put up. These are the type of blogs, a podcast, samples of the songs. Stop putting up entire songs. People are stripping them, stealing them, keeping them. You're giving them away. What can you do in the sense of putting together the best materials to continue to entice the audience? At the same time, while you can record at home, can you get somebody to sing the song in Portuguese and send it down to Brazil? Can you be the ambassador of South Korea? Get a female vocalist, even if you're a guy, to sing it in Hangul and try sending it over there. The small, simple steps that don't cost anything or a couple bucks or a college student internship kind of thing. These can open up opportunities. MusicLibraryReport.com. That's a free site to go on to see who's setting up non-exclusive licensing deals for television, for movies, for corporate videos, and going down the street to a lawyer's office. Do they need some corporate music? You can take a lot more grassroots steps to start to build that beast in a sense. There are ways to align with those other bands. You see some band that's a couple 100 miles away from you. They sort of sound like you. How do you start to set up to say, we're going to market you when you come to our hometown and we want to be able to open for you there? The more that you can see your music as having numerous avenues of revenue, the more options that can take place. Maybe you're a Rob Thomas style, or you've got a loop or a section of a song that can turn from rock to rap. Maybe you have a rap song that can turn into some kind of country song. There's so many different like morphings of music that can happen. And when you're in the studio toward the end, set up that short sample, set up that extended version. Make sure to clip together those outtakes. Now you've got a blooper reel. Now you have something that's tied in to something you want to sell, and you're able to upload it under humor. Every opportunity, every angle that you look at creatively gives you a business stance to get those songs to more people and more ears.
Wow. what's really exciting. I know there's more opportunities than ever these days, but you gotta not only be able to work at it, but find what you do best and really work that, and then find people to get on your team that do what you don't do best. So you have a balanced team, but everybody's in it for really what they love to do, and I think that's the real key. We always see a lot of young people, they watch the bling bling on TV, the cars, the girls, the mansions, and they say, I want that and I want it today. You know, they're willing to do anything to get it, including selling their soul, and it never works. It will always backfire on you. But then again, you talk to so many artists, and they say, look, you got to take it like a business, but do it for the love of it. Do it where you would do it and never get paid, and surround yourself with good business people, because if people really like what you do, the rewards are going to come. But if you're doing it for the cash, you might as well be on a street corner, you know, selling something else, because it's really a tough business. But I think, you know, teamwork is really so much important in the business. You know, what we're going to do is take one more break. We're going to give you some information about IES. It's the Indie Entertainment Summit. It is coming up this year. It is August 6th through the 9th. It's located right here in Los Angeles, or if you're from Southern California, it's going to be in the NoHo Arts District, right there in North Hollywood, right up by Universal Studios. So check this out. Listen to all the testimonies. We're going to give you a website. Matter of fact, it's on the bottom of the video. Check out the web. And if you're serious, like I say, whether you make music, produce, manage, make films, thinking about where you might fit into this creative industries, whether it be music, movies, TV, or touring, or technologies that creative people use, Indie Entertainment Summit is where you need to be. Coming right back, Loren Weisman is our special guest. More knowledge coming up right after this.
Hey, what up? This is Corey from SLIPKNOT.
This is Matt Sorum from Velvet Revolver.
What's up? It's your boy Mac 10.
Hey, this is Mike Inez from Alice in Chains. What's up? This is Be Real from Cypress Hill.
What's up? I'm Sean from Yellow Card.
It's your boy Warren G.
I'm Brooks Wackerman from Bad Religion.
Hey, yo, this is Method Man.
This is Mick Jones, Foreigner.
I got a question for you. Are you serious about moving your creative career forward? Then you need to be at IES.
If you're a musician out there, you got a band, you want to rock, don't sit down on your ass and wait for someone to knock on your door.
You can do it yourself. Don't wait for nobody. Do your thing, man. You know, life is short. You only live once.
Totally independent, and I love it.
Everything's important about the indie world. It has been for a long time.
You got more control, and you make 10 times as much money. 10 times more money.
Don't wait for the record label, do it yourself.
People need to hear the music that's in your head, that's in your fingers, that's in your heart. So get out there and let's hear it.
Because of the internet and because of the greed of those old school executives at these record companies, the power is now in your hands, artists.
Take back your art and don't sell yourself cheap or short to anyone.
If you believe in your music, if you believe in your gift, if you believe what God has given you, make sure you go to IES, show the world what you got. It's going to be going down here in Los Angeles, and it's something that gets all you independent artists getting going on that drive, doing what you guys got to do, man.
Be independent. Don't be afraid to be independent.
You got to be a part of doing you first, and that means independence. I implore you to go to the IES, the Independent Entertainment Summit, and do your thing.
If you think you know what you're doing in this music business, I don't care who you are, there are things you will learn.
The indie way is the way, you know. The large corporations have basically disintegrated. They're looking to the indie community to create the music and create the genesis of what's going to be the next environment.
If you started a new band and you're having a little bit of trouble figuring out where to go next, or what you should be doing, who you should be talking to, whether you need a record label or how to get your music distributed, you need to go to the Indie Entertainment Summit. That's the place where you go to meet industry panel experts. They're going to tell you everything you need to know to get you where you want to be.
For me, I spend all of my days and months going around the world educating musicians on how they can better actually release their music and market their music. It's part of my mission. It's part of the way that we can grow the music business. So I'm going to go at all the important summits that I can go to, and the Indie Entertainment Summit is going to be one of the places that I'll be. You want to be educated? You want me to help educate it? You better be there.
If you rap, sing,
dance, model, DJ, or act, or like myself do comedy, you can't afford to miss this conference.
You're trying to do your thing in this business, and you're tired of waiting on somebody to help you. In August, come to LA, the Indie Entertainment Summit.
You know what time it is, man. It's that time, Rolex time. Chase some cash, get money, big care. Shout out to Hit Boy, G-Rock, Money Making Man, Stacy B, it's Sir Cut, and we here with the Indie Entertainment Summit, man. Y'all need to be here, man. It's in LA in August, man. Beautiful people here, man. Dropping knowledge, dropping gems about this new way to pursue this music and a new way to get this money, man.
It's the Indie Entertainment Summit. That's the IES, baby.
Very important place to be if you want information to take things to the next level. You may not have access to the internet. It's okay too. Go there. You have an opportunity, IES.
Write it, rap it, produce it, mix it, arrange it, rap it, sell it. That gives you the power.
Every second that you're sitting on your butt waiting for something good to happen, your competition is passing you by. So if you got a dream, go and fight for it and support Indie Entertainment Summer.
I need y'all to come out to my city and represent with the Entertainment Indie Summit. It's going down August 1st through the 5th. If you're an independent artist, you're an independent label, you want to get your music out there, you want to network, come out to Los Angeles.
All you gotta do is, if you want to blow up in this industry, go to IES conference in LA, Google it, you gotta be there.
Showcases, panels, opportunities, everything that Indie Entertainment Summit does is something that is very much for today's music industry. We know how it used to be, but we don't know how it's going to be tomorrow. But I think the Indie Entertainment Summit is going to be an opportunity for motivated, ambitious professionals to meet each other.
Music business is a hard thing to break into.
So you gotta do what you can. Check out IES, Indie Entertainment Summit.
If you're gonna be anywhere, you need to be at IES, man, in LA, man. That's where it's gonna be at.
It's going down just like that, August 1st through the 5th. IES, man.
If you ain't going to IES, you ain't gonna live to be an artist. You know why? IES, feed your mind, feed your soul. Get a good lawyer. They'll teach you which way to go.
If you're serious about your music, where do they need to be?
You gotta be at IES, yo.
What's that?
Indie Entertainment Summit.
You should check it out at IES.com. Hopefully this will become an annual event that we'll all be going to many years from now.
You need to be out to IES.
That's IES, baby.
Going down August 1st through the 5th.
You have to check out IES.
IES, show the world what you got.
Ain't no excuses. It's now or never.
It's your chance to show the world what you've got.
IES.
I hope I see you there.
Indie Entertainment Summit, man. Circa, we gonna be there.
Indie motherfucking Entertainment Summit. Be there, Jack.
IES. Look for it online. The Indie Entertainment Summit.
If you really think you got what it takes to stand out, you really want to make sure you stand out, you can show the world what you got at the IES, the Indie Entertainment Summit.
IES, it's going to be here in Los Angeles.
Entertainment capital of the world. If you ain't there, you're nowhere.
Thank you so much. We're back on the road to Hollywood. IES. This year it is actually August 6th through the 9th. It's always right there, early August, before the end of the summer, before the fall comes in. Get to LA. All the buses, the trains, the planes, all the automobiles lead right to NoHo, and it will blow your mind. The testimonials are through the roof. People get so much out of it. A lot of people say it's like going to college in 4 days. You know, cram for it because, you know, one thing that's really amazing is the amount of people that we hear from that have developed relationships with powerful people in the industry that before IES, they would have no way to contact the person. You know, these people are so busy at the height of this industry that you just can't get them on the phone on a cold call. So, Loren, let's talk about that for a little bit. You know, the importance, because the book is a treasure trove of information you can go back to again and again and again, resource the different topics, access what you need to know. But there's that human element at an event like IES. Let's talk about the importance of coming and pressing the flesh, and not only kind of be able to learn how to give your elevator pitch, so to speak, how to not only describe yourself in a few words, but how to present what you have to offer any business person in a minute or two, or how to make that presentation or how to take this seriously. We always see the smart people, they're sitting up front taking notes, recording, they got their business cards ready, they're going to make a nice presentation. And the people in the back worried about the drinks or the girls or their car, they shouldn't even be there. So let's talk about the mindset it takes in this industry to be ahead, because we know what it takes in professional sports or collegiate sports. We know what it takes in that entrepreneur world of new media or coming out with a product that's going to stand out. But in this competitive, super cutthroat, music entertainment business, why is it important to come to an event? And one of the reasons why we formed this is we used to have the Gavins and the CMJs and the Urban Networks and the Impacts and all these. And when the major labels cut their budgets or merged, they cut all that out. So we're one of the last ones standing, or really the new one. We're part of the new breed. But why is it important to have that physical interaction with other professionals in the industry?
Well, if I can jump backwards one step from your question and say, when you're using your planes, your trains, your automobiles, make sure the end resolve and the arrival is August 5th. Be there, get a night worth of sleep. Yes, you're in LA. You know what? Stay the 10th, 11th, and 12th and party LA. But when you are there for the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, make IES the experience. If you're a 4-person band and one of you, I just found out from Jay, and I'm going to be there too, one of you wants to come talk to me, make sure the other 3 are talking to other people. You want to get the most out of IES, you're going to see this array of companies, of people to talk to, of things to go to. Break up, split out, get as much as you can. Look on the website, find out about the people. Think about when you go to another band. Who can I talk to? Where are you? Have a pen on you so that when you take that card, Detroit band, remind yourself, if you need to take short breaks to go in, pull up your computer, and add that on a spreadsheet, that's going to make IES the best for you. When you look at these events, these summits, and you summit to the peak of the opportunities that IES offers you, you are going to go so much further. A lot of people don't take advantage, or they just get overwhelmed. So I'm sorry, I had to kind of sidetrack there, but coming back to your question.
That's very important. Preparation.
Preparation.
Yeah.
When you approach someone, in most cases, in most situations, you're not going to meet that producer, that musician that's going to listen to you right then and there. There will be opportunities to get people to, but find out, what are they about? What are they looking for? Asking people, not just walking up, work on that social skill set. Look, and this is not social media, this is social skill. Look somebody in the eye, shake hands. I worked with a band when I was a producer, and I literally worked on shaking hands with them. It was this passive, figure out, coming back to the tagline. When they say, okay, what's your band sound like? Hit me with that tagline. You don't, I sort of sound like, and we're kind of, and we don't sound like anyone else.
Yeah.
I'm done with you.
That's the most boring interview. If you're on a red carpet, that is going to be on the cutting room floor.
Right.
Guaranteed. They're not using that.
Be there. The confidence that you have, not cockiness or excessive arrogance, but the confidence you have shines through. And the opportunities of the people that you can meet. And you might not even necessarily know someone who you're shaking their hand, they're talking to you, and they might have ties to money, to distribution, to recording, to production, to social media, to management, to consulting, to somebody that's going to look at you and say, I might take a chance, or I might give them a discount because I like what I see. So make sure every single person, you're treating them with that same respect. The other thing, and this goes across the board, when you're describing yourself to John Doe, to the biggest producer, to a label, that description better be the same. Would you really get in front of your idol and talk about how you are the greatest thing in the world and you are sliced bread and you're better than this artist and you're better than that? That kind of, it's not going to help you. Finding that mid-level pitch of, this is who I am. I'm confident in it. I'm looking you in the eye. I'm standing up. I don't care what your look is. You can still have a presentation. Your look is your look, but present it with confidence, and you'll be seen that way. And this goes the same thing for getting on the phones. You talk about the professionalism there. I'm right there with you. The blueprint of basic etiquette. And this isn't, I want somebody in business to do this. Pick up the phone and clearly say hello. Ask questions. Thank you, please. These are things that are lost in the industry. Somebody emails you, you get right back to them. And even if it's, look, I'm busy, I'll get back to you in 36 hours. I practice this extensively where I can't talk to you today. I will get back to you in 2 weeks. We all have calendars. We have it. It's so much easier where we can state, don't forget to call this person. Your first impression, your reputation, your honor, these will take you so many more steps along the way. Practice them today. Practice them this summer at IES. Practice the ability to communicate, contact, network, and engage, because you have to do that with your fans. You have to do that with building new fans, and you better be doing that with the industry.
You know, I always say you're in business for yourself when you're independent, but you don't need to be in business by yourself. So even if you can't afford a big team and hire that big publicist and this big promoter and everything, find what you're working with within and take it in steps. You know, a band, a 4 or 5 piece band, we're talking about the Warped Tour or whatever, it's a lot of downtime. You're on stage for 30 or 45 minutes, maybe an hour tops. That leaves 23 and a half other hours that you can be productive. Now, somebody on your team, somebody in the band might be really good at social media. This other guy might be really good at talking to the media, to the press, kind of articulating what you guys are all about. This person might really be good working on cars. You're out there in a van in the middle of the desert, you know, in 120-degree temperature. If you break down, be nice to know somebody on your team might be able to, you know, get that van back up and running, and certainly have your AAA card. But, you know, there's a lot of masters of the craft that can be, you know, gelled in a band. And like you say, there's an art to introducing yourself, people, describing yourself in 10 words or 2 minutes. There's an art to giving interviews. You know, we have Gail Murphy on our show. That's what she does. She teaches artists and celebrities how to give interviews, how to make interesting talk. So if you're on a red carpet, people aren't rolling their eyes like, who was that? You know, it's more like, I like that guy. Matter of fact, make a note. We're going to use that sound clip on tonight's news. Things like that. So there's really an art to everything, just like playing your instrument, just like writing a song, just like recording a vocal, just like, you know, writing lyrics. There's an art to every one of these functions. And I think it's so, so important to look from within to see what you're working with. You know, just being the drummer anymore is not enough. You know, find out what the skills are, the bass player, the keyboard player, you know. Obviously, you need someone to settle up at the end of the night and deal with the, you know, the club owner or the promoter. You need different people. You know, some people are early risers, some people are late. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You know, if the van is leaving out at 5 a.m., guess what? You're going to be sleeping in the van because it's really showtime. And that's what it takes. You start missing shows, word travels super fast now.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You put on a bad performance because there was only 10 people in the room, guess what? Word travels fast. I had the opportunity to work with U2 in the early days. First show in L.A., we had 600 people out at the country club in Reseda. It's now a church, if you can believe that. That's where U2 and Metallica and everybody launched. But, you know, the second show, Orange County, 12 people. Now, do you know that U2 put on the same show for those 12 people? Not only they did for the 600 people, but for the 300,000 people at the US Festival just over a year later. That's why they stole the show. That's why, even though they went on at 10 a.m., nobody for the next 12 hours could follow the set that they did.
Oh, I love that.
And so exciting. And they figure, hey, we're here anyway. There's 12 people in here. Us, our band and our crew almost outnumber the crowd. But we have something to prove. We came all the way to America or came all the way to California, came out to anywhere USA to put on a show. So why give a lackluster show if there's 5 or 10 or 50 people there? Guess what? The person in the shadows might be that person who was booking the US Festival.
And just knows from there. Exactly.
It might have been Steve Wozniak or Steve Jobs in the back that said, you know what? I'm about to start a company. I want you guys to be part of our campaign to launch it. You never know who that is, but you know the mindset is what we're talking about. So at IES, you get a chance to really, you know, show those social skills, and I'm not talking about behind a mouse. I'm talking about really face to face. Just think, we call it an elevator pitch because guess what? You just got into an elevator and you look over and you say, oh my God, there is Steven Spielberg, there's Jimmy Iovine, there is, you know, Kevin Lyman from the Warped Tour. There's somebody there that I've been trying to meet all my life. Or if I had one chance to, tell them about what I do, you've got seconds.
And
Matter of fact, they're
know,
probably making their first impression in the first 2 seconds.
And I love what you mentioned, and I don't mean to interrupt there, but it's that elevator pitch, but it's also you want to meet that person that millions of other people have wanted to meet, and millions of other people have pitched. And immediately, as soon as you open your mouth, there's doubt of, is this just another? So inside of everything that you do, making sure, is that pitch in something that's going to help stand out in the best way possible and take into consideration. And this is with, with social media, with marketing, with anything you put out there. Before you press post, has somebody else said that 1,000,000 times? Or how can you spin it to make it a little bit more yours? And the Warped Tour thing, what is it, the squirrel and the chipmunk? And I got my rear side handed to me on this. I remember being on a very big tour. And while I was out there, we were just enjoying the tour in a linear sense. We didn't take that extra time to go, wait a minute, we do have 23 hours. We do have 23 hours to go. Why don't we find out what the venues are here? Why don't we find out what the other bands are here? No, we were drunk, drugged, and on the bus, and then in the hotel. And there were people that wanted to meet us. It's, IES, have your fun, have your drinks. Make sure that you're up, make sure that you're aware, make sure that when you get that chance to hit that elevator pitch, like you said, you're not only able to hit it, but you're taking into consideration that millions of others have tried too.
Sure. And, I travel to events just like you all over the world. This is my 24th year in a row at MEDEM in Cannes. And a lot of people go down there, 8,000 miles from here, spend a tremendous amount of money, and they're partying up a storm. It's the French Riviera. It's it's the Cannes Film Festival playground on the beach. And I always tell people, I said, I do not come over here to party. I can do that back in LA just fine. And you don't get a second chance to make that first impression. You might be a little tipsy, and you're like, well, I'm sorry, I'm a little drunk, but here's
the best song in the world.
Here's my band, No, that doesn't cut it. They are not looking to deal with any drama. You know what I mean? It's a very, very hard business. I don't care if it's the film, TV, or the music business. It operates like a Swiss watch. At its height, it is a finely tuned Ferrari, and they don't want amateurs driving or even working on it. So I think in summary here, and we've just got a few more minutes, but let's talk about, again, I know you were talking about YouTube and some of the algorithms and some of the things that you've discerned, because YouTube is our giant new radio station. It's our new MTV in the sky. What are some of the tips you have for the average person? And of course, I would say quality. People seem to use YouTube kind of like, a microwave, just throw anything into it. But quality over quantity, put your best foot forward, because when it's out there, it's out there. So give us some tips on utilizing the YouTube generation.
Couple quick tips with YouTube. This is one of the best opportunities for free to market yourself to more people than you can imagine, and it gets you out that much better. But in your YouTube titles, stop using your name. No one is searching on your name. Start using the subject, the focus. When you save up the primary keyword that you go after on YouTube, like if you search on YouTube, music business consultant, music business plan, music business book, music marketing book, I come up in the top 5 on all of those. You can even search on YouTube, helps to assist and consult. And I come up on 3/4 of that page. I have started to use the aspect of YouTube to say, what are you looking for? And then I bring you to me. In the same way, whether it's a radio show, a TV show, a concert, IES, talking about the different things that you bring to the table. And the one tip, I do seminars on just the YouTube aspect, but the one thing I always say is what you save, the primary word you want someone searching for, save it as the movie.move.mp4, whatever. Well, that's music. Put that in the title, put it in the description, get that call to action in that bio in that video, because that will just compound people being able to find you and find out what you're about. YouTube is a great way to open up to an even larger audience. And it's not about views. And with Facebook and Twitter, it's not about followers and likes. Where is your conversion? You have 10, I'd rather see someone with 250 Twitter followers have a high rate of conversion to people buying or going to shows or downloading stuff. In the same way, and bringing it back to IES, this is a download card. Am I angling that right? Your download card, IES tip for the day. Get your band on these download cards, a business download card. Not just a download card for your music, but the name of your band, the tagline, the information about where they can reach you. And once they download this, how about 10 song samples, a one sheet, a promo photo, maybe a couple videos you directly want them to go to. So when you pitch them and hit them, it's not, well, visit us here and do this and do this. You know what? Just come right here. That fast pitch, just like you're talking about, making life easy for other people. It's the same thing with YouTube. When you make it easy for what they're searching for to end up on you, you're finding those people, you're converting those people.
So important. You know, there's a misconception out there. I have a lot of young artists ask me, like, how many views do I need? How many friends do I need to get a record deal? Like, there's a magic number, like, you know, and a minute ago you could fake so much of it. You know, I know YouTube's really clamped down on that, but it's like, okay, let me get 1 million fake friends and I'm going to get a record deal. Like, you don't think the record companies already know every trick in the book on how to boost exposure?
And that's the tracking of it. If you go on to Fiverr and buy 40,000, 50,000 views, and then you have nothing to track off of. That's something else that all bands need to do. It's a simple Excel sheet, and you can get certain stuff through Google Analytics and Hootsuite. But how many Twitter followers did you have at the beginning of this month, at the beginning of April? Mark it tomorrow on May 1, or everybody start on May 1. How many Facebook likes? How many Facebook friends? How many views? Be able to track growth, because the natural growth and the understanding of what you're doing in a grassroots way is going to reinforce for those that may want to put money behind you, because they can see, okay, it might be slow growth, but if we put money, publicity, marketing, these campaigns behind it, and we can see that going to here, you become a safer investment.
That's incredible. You know, Loren, as we wind up, I want to give our viewers a very special opportunity. We're going to be giving away a hard copy of the book and several of the download e-cards. So you can actually read his book for free to the lucky winners. Now, all you got to do is email us at info@iesfest.com, and that's IESFEST, short for festival, info@iesfest.com, and request to be in the running for the Success book. Just call it Success. We're going to pick some lucky winners and get those right off to you. But I think everybody's a winner, you know, in getting this book. But we always love to give you special deals. You definitely want to go to that website. That's iesfest.com and get registered. One of the advantages of registering early is, number one, you get to start planning your event. You get a better performance slot as far as your showcase. And you have that seniority number. So one of the things we're doing at IES is we're going to have some very, very special events. And those might be limited to 10 people, 20 people, 30 people. Your seniority number is what's going to give you better access to the latecomers. The early bird always gets the worm. So register as soon as you can. Start planning now. What's amazing about IES is we have people come in from all over the world. We got over 20 countries represented, all 50 states, all regions of the U.S. People come in, and what I always tell, people call me and they say, are you coming to Baltimore? Are you coming to Little Rock? No, you got to come to L.A. because the people that we have at IES are so busy, it's hard to get them out of their office for an hour or two. They are not going to Austin. They're not going to Seattle. They're not going to even Denver or Vegas, you know, unless they're there for their business. You know, you have to make this your business. You get to L.A., even if it's on a damn Greyhound. But once you get here, you now have the opportunity to glean the success stories, the techniques, the inside secrets, you know, the way these guys tick. And they don't mind giving it to you because, like I say, it's not really secrets. Unlike those major labels and those politicians or the sports teams, which are trying to cheat and, you know, get an advantage over each other. The indie world, we want to see everybody. It's like Tech9 says, you know, he's building his roster out, and they ask him about his other artists. He says, I want to sign people better than me. I want to see people surpass what I do. you know, and not just from a financial standpoint, but he loves and gets off on that creative competition, that creative collaboration, that synergy of like, you took it to this level, now that makes me raise my game to the next level and keep it growing, you know, and I think that's what's so important. So again, you know, the misconceptions, you know, we had Troy Marshall who headed up, you know, Interscope's promotion on the last show, and we broke down those misconceptions about getting on the radio and getting a record deal, you know, and those are two of the biggest things. Touch on those briefly, you know, your perspective on everybody looking for a shortcut. They want the record deal, they want to get on the radio, which usually means they don't want to do all that work in between to have that steady, loyal audience that a Tech Nine or a Joe Bonamassa or a lot of these people have built. So easy come, easy go. You know, to build that over time organically, you stand a much better chance of keeping that audience. But what is your angle on the, quote, people that are just trying to find the shortcut to the record deal or get on the biggest radio station rather than build to it?
The record deal, the radio station, anytime you're using all I need, I'll just, or if I only had, you're in a lot of trouble. When you look at radio right now, you're averaging on the major single that's being promoted, $75,000 a week is being put into that. Working in different areas outside of radio is going to benefit you a great deal more. It's the bang for the buck. And for every dollar that you're spending, where are you seeing it back? And the conversions right now for the smaller independent artists are outside of radio. As far as record labels, you've got to think about what you can put together yourself. And do you need a record label? You need the services of a record label, but maybe you go to consultants like me, or maybe you use certain people to pay out for certain services to then go to an investor. You still need the format for touring, for production, for support, the corporate entity, even if it's your own corporation. But the organization, the more you can organize yourself, the less help you're going to need, the less risk of investment. I've said that a couple times. And at the same time, the better chance you're going to have. And at IES, I'm giving away 4 one-hour consults by Skype, phone, or you can catch me there, leading up over the next 4 months up to the 6th. So if you are one of those early bird registers, we've got 10 of these, got 1 of these, and you can get 4 of me. Well, 4 of you can get 1 hour of me. That sounded really wrong.
Yes.
But it's organization, it's optimization, it's conversion, it's tracking, and it's using your common sense that you know other red flags would go up anywhere else in the world for you if it was anything else. But in music, you just let that go by. You are smarter than you think. You have a better foundation than you realize. Use those smarts and stand on 2 solid feet, and you'll see the music industry work better for you.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Loren. The book is amazing. Again, The Artist's Guide to Success in the Music Business. Look for that graphic online, your Amazons, you know, your website. Please tell us where they can find you online.
LorenWiseman.com, TAG2ND.com. I'm all over social media with Loren Weisman. Stop by, say hi. Let's have a soda.
Thank you so much for coming down. Like I said, it's the tip of the iceberg. We could go on for another 100 hours, but it's in the book. So open up that book, start learning, you know, really expanding your mind, and more importantly, get registered for IES. Not only are you going to meet and learn some incredible wisdom from Loren Weisman, but there's over 100 heavyweights in the industry just bursting with knowledge that they want to share with you. Because guess what? You know, like Brian Shafton, the CEO of RBC says, and he runs the labels for Tech 9 and E40 and so many heavyweights, he said, I don't want a dumb artist. I want the artists that go to IES because, number one, they're not going to ask me stupid questions, and 2, they're going to be better prepared. So while I'm doing what we do best, they're doing what they need to do. So rather than sit back and wait for the phone to ring and, you know, a check in the mail, they're part of the process, they're part of the team, and together you're bettering your chances for success. We welcome you to go to the YouTube, check out more episodes of IES, Road to Hollywood. We can't wait to share more with you next week. Thank you, Loren. Thank you so much. We'll see you at IES. This has been IES, The Road to Hollywood.